children and our children's children. I've often said that I'm married to an entrepreneur, and I would like to take it a step further. I am married to a leader who always dreams of a better future. So that's why we are here. Yes, he has the business mind. He is a family man, husband of 26 years, father and a grandfather. So when you look at Jerome Edmondson, essentially you're looking at yourself. So I want you to really listen to the words that he says, and more importantly, feel where he's coming from. But this whole journey is for you, and it's for all of us to live happier, better lives. Starting in Dekalb, but of course, this is a global experience that we're having. So thank you, and we welcome you as we honor, on his birthday, the next Dekalb County CEO, Mr. Jerome
I've covered politics in Atlanta and Dekalb for more than 3 decades. This Jerome Edmondson is one of the brightest political newcomers I've ever seen. This guy's gonna be a star. I like his way he handles himself. I like his personal story. I like his storytelling, and he wants to give this community a new beginning, like his wife said. I think it's also something to be said about this being his birthday and Good Friday. There's something about that. There's a spiritual tone to this. There's a substance here. This man can make a difference. I think political tyranny in Dekalb County is about to end, which has been going on for years. This guy's got the goods. I think there's going to be a real change coming, a real intense political campaign, which I like. I love politics. This guy's going to bring it, and it'll be interesting to see how it comes out.
Very good.
I think he struck a chord when he said leadership. That he's taking a leadership role. The entrepreneurs behind him are taking a leadership role. They know how challenging it is. They're not kidding about that, and they are willing to do what it takes. I think it's the will, the leadership will that's been missing, and that they're willing to sacrifice whatever it takes, is what I'm hearing, to make things go differently than they ever have in Dekalb County.
Well, I'm really expecting him to run and to push his entrepreneurship program for young Black Americans, and I believe in him. I came to know Jerome through that program that he gets out in the community and into the churches and really empowers youth to become entrepreneurs. So I'm really expecting that platform to really go forth, and I just believe in his integrity. What he says he will do, he gets it done. He's a committed person to the community, and I'm just happy to be a part of it and support his whole campaign.
Economic empowerment of those who are disenfranchised. My whole movement is with the youth, and due to the fact that he takes entrepreneurs at the lowest level, at the most beginning level, and teaches them what, putting things in place where those are the people who get empowered is the movement that I'm attached to.
Thank everyone for coming this morning. There's no surprise why we're here. It's a day we have anticipated for a few months now. I'm Brenda Cornelius, and I have the honor and the privilege and pleasure of being the campaign manager for Jerome Edmondson, our next CEO of Dekalb County. All right. And I'm going to bring up probably the best part of Jerome. That's right, I get a yes. I get an amen on the best part. Thank you all for coming out. Without further ado, I'm going to bring the next First Lady of Dekalb County, Mrs. Eninkk Edmondson. All right. Thank you very much. And thank you all for coming out to support and celebrate the announcement of Mr. Jerome Edmondson running for Dekalb County CEO. My name is Eninkk Edmondson, and I've known this man for a little over 26 years. We've been married 26 years. And of course, when he gave me this information that he wanted to run for Dekalb County CEO, as a life-work balance coach, kind of took me off balance. It took me off balance simply because I was focused on politicians and political things that are not necessarily in alignment with what we believe. But then I had to adjust and allow it to process. And as it was processing, I was thinking about the man, Jerome, who is a man that has two characteristics. One is integrity, which means he is true to himself. And secondly, honesty, which means he would be true to you, the citizens of DeKalb. For the true leader does not measure his success by comparing himself with others, but with his own purpose and vision. I am so proud that my husband, Jerome Edmondson, who is a businessman and an amazing leader, more importantly, he's a family man. He's a father of 3 adult children and 4 wonderful grandchildren. I am so proud for him stepping up to the challenge that would change and benefit Dekalb County for generations. Everything in Jerome's life has prepared him for this moment. For the measure of a man is in the way he bears up under misfortune. For he's had to go through a lot of misfortunes in his life. And let me talk about that for just a moment. For today is a very significant day. For some, it is Good Friday. It is the Good Friday, it is. For others, it is the beginning of a Passover season, which represents what? Deliverance and freedom, a new beginning, a new season. Today, April 6th, is also the day that 49 years ago a visionary was born. However, he was born into a family without a mom or dad in the home, but he had a loving grandmother. And although he didn't have a mom and dad in the home as a child, he never focused on the situation as it was. For he's a dreamer. He's always dreamed of a better future, of a better life. Because he understands, which is why he's running now, because he sees a better future and is creating his present against the backdrop of the past. I am looking forward to the community to truly getting to know the man, Jerome Edmondson, because he's a man that has a heart for community and family and business. So without any further ado, I'd like to present your next Dekalb County CEO, Mr. Jerome Edmondson.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. What a great introduction to a great journey that I'm about to take. And, I have to say that, 26 years ago, I made the best decision of my life. At 22 years of age, I made the decision that I wanted to get married. I wanted to have children. And boy, God only knew that when I was making that decision, that it was with the right person at the right time. Y'all give my wife a great hand for sharing with us today. And on this special day, today's my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Y'all wish me a happy birthday. Happy birthday. And I thought it would be befitting today on my birthday, on Good Friday, that we would move this journey full force. Behind me are not props. These are real people living real lives. Most of them are a part of the gift that God gave me a long time ago, which was to train and develop entrepreneurs and create real jobs. See, creating jobs is not a slogan that is sometimes often used during the political process. creating jobs is what's standing behind me. Real entrepreneurs that open up their businesses every day and employ 5, 10, and some of them hundreds of people. But it was my own unemployment process that most folks are faced with today, the unemployment process, that made me want to do and become what you see standing behind me. See, I know what it feels to those of you who are unemployed now, and to be out here looking for a job and to lose hope. I was there, unemployed for 1.5 years, and I too lost hope. But when I began to think about what was in me and my ability to do all the things that I've ever desired to do in life, that 6-month time period brought me to be the nation's first Black Denny's franchise owner. But most importantly, it gave me the courage to know that we should never, ever lose hope. Never stop dreaming. And never, under any circumstances, lose hope. And so as I took that journey for 18 years, I have been a CEO. So the position of a CEO is nothing new to me. It's something that I have had the privilege of not just being and talking and focusing attention on myself, but could you imagine a CEO actually having the passion within him to create CEOs across the world? So look at all these CEOs. We have CEOs here in Dekalb County. We've done our training in Los Angeles, and we've got CEOs that we've developed there. We have ED in Africa. We have CEOs that we've developed in Africa. And now we're getting ready to take this great piece of real estate in the state of Georgia called Dekalb County and empower and impact the true leaders of this county, which are you. And it's not me. And it's not this title. See, what we're experiencing in today's society is politics without principles. You're going to see a lot of activity now. But activity never means productivity. People are experiencing pleasure without conscience, wealth without work, knowledge without character, business without morality, and worship without sacrifice. See, faith without work, corresponding action, is an illusion. And my goal is to take these 18 years of being a CEO and enter the business of governing and give this county back to its rightful owners, you, the citizen. I'm a public servant, and every day of my life is to serve you. I want to break the bond of unity or empower the bond of unity again in this county. And while we have the highest rate of foreclosure in the state of Georgia, there are more homeless veterans in Dekalb County than in the entire state of Georgia. How can we have the highest foreclosure rate and the highest homeless rate and don't bring those pieces together? It's called lack of unity. And so the first place that I'm going to foreclose on July the 31st when I become CEO, I'm going to foreclose the office and the vault of where the current leadership is that has separated himself from his accountability partners and the commission, and we're going to join together and unify together as a team to bring our county back to where it needs to be. We're a team. And we can't help you move forward unless we move forward as a team. So as I close today, I want to tell you a little story. And in this story, I'm going to tell you why Dekalb deserves better. The last 3 years, we have experienced 26% increase in taxes. So drastic that cities like Brookhaven, Tucker, and Avondale have made a decision that we don't even want to be a part of this county anymore. And they're considering and lobbying at our state's capital to annex themselves from this great county. And people are moving and leaving and taking their businesses away because of the increase in taxes. As we sit here and talk about the Dekalb Deserves Better, I want to share with you about a dreamer, because a dream is a vision with a deadline. In 1963, something great happened in this country that changed the way that we live today. That is the catalyst of the decision that I'm making today. See, during Black History Month, I read two books. I read Steve Jobs' biography, and I read the Dr. King story. And I learned during that time that in 1963, 250,000 people showed up at the same place at the same time, traveled miles, stood in the hot sun for over 8 hours. They didn't have Twitter, Facebook. I want to share with you about a dreamer, because a dream is a vision with a deadline. In 1963, something great happened in this country that changed the way that we live today. That is the catalyst of the decision that I'm making today. See, during Black History Month, I read two books. I read Steve Jobs' biography, and I read the Dr. King story. And I learned during that time that in 1963, 250,000 people showed up at the same place at the same time, traveled miles, stood in the hot sun for over 8 hours. They didn't have Twitter, Facebook. They didn't have a website. They didn't even Google each other along the way. They were there because one person dared to stand up and say, America deserves better. And because of Dr. King's vision of a better America, or Jerome Edmondson's vision of a better Dekalb, we are better off today than we've ever been because of one person making that decision. Unifying people together for one common cause. That's why we're here today. We've come together to say that together we can make a difference in a place that we call home. You can't run, because where are you going to run to? The problems we face today are real. And if we don't do something different, the next generation will inherit our ignorance. So business people like myself are stepping up to the plate. And we're sacrificing the years that we've been together, the years that we've went out into the marketplace, and the skills that we've learned, and we're bringing it back to the political sector. Because, see, leaders don't need politics. Politics need leadership. And that's the leadership that I stand on today. So when you walk away from this press conference today, tell all your friends, tell everybody that you know, get your shoulders up, walk proud, raise your head up high, and tell them that, guys, I went somewhere today, or ladies, I went somewhere today. And I want to tell you two things. Number one, I want to tell you that Dekalb is open for business. It's open to the business of governing, to the business of leadership, to the business of unity, to the business of serving the community, to the business of not just the North and the South, but the division of a real and true one Dekalb. And when you tell them that we all open for business, and they ask you, well, what are you talking about? Then begin to tell them why Dekalb deserves better. Tell them why we deserve the right leadership. Tell them why we deserve to get back into the community. Tell them why we deserve to try to help and orchestrate and rebuild our education system. Tell them why it's important that on July the 31st, that they vote. And when you tell them to vote, because a no vote is a vote. And then when you tell them to vote, tell them who to vote for. Look them in the eye. Smile, look serious. Show them all 32 teeth or just 2, however many you got, just smile. But by all means, look them in the eyes and tell them that vote for Jerome Edmondson on July the 31st, because truly a leader is coming to give this county back to its citizens. So on this Good Friday, as you walk away and come down tonight to celebrate my birthday party, all you can eat crab leg buffet, and then help me cut a couple of steps with my wife, I want you to remember one thing, that these entrepreneurs that are standing behind me is how we're going to bring jobs back to this county, how we're going to increase and grow businesses back in this county, and how we're going to come together as a team and make a difference. And tell me where to come in bring me to your homeowners association, bring me in your neighborhood, bring me in your house, bring me wherever you need me to be. But on July the 31st, bring all of us to the polls, and let's all of us join together and take our county back. God bless you all, and I'll see you at the top. Yeah, do we have any questions from anybody? Anybody have any questions for me? Yes, sir.
Will this be a daunting task given your first political foray, an uphill battle, particularly given the political experience and the political machine that the incumbent has?
Will this be a daunting task as my first experience? You know, I've had daunting first experience tasks all my life. You know, I remember the story that my wife told about being unemployed for a year and a half, and I'm going around telling people I'm going to become an entrepreneur and start my own business. And I had the audacity with $200 in my savings account to become the to go out and say I'm going to own my own business. You know, nothing in life is easy. And if this was an easy process, there would be a line of us around this county moving in this direction. Sometimes leadership requires that you stand out on your own. So I'm not looking at the task at hand. What I simply am going to do over the next 100+ days is lay a blueprint on how I feel that we can have the best county in the state and become a world power and create a county that the world can duplicate.
Yes, sir. You speak about going into the community. You talk about being on the soccer fields and the kickbox fields. How do you see a process sustainable that would allow participation and inclusion to the degree that you're speaking to?
And, you know, when I grew up, it was all about community. I tell the story that, you know, we didn't have cell phones and Blackberries when I grew up, but something could happen a mile down the street, and by the time I got home, my mom already knew that I was in trouble. How do we sustain the community activity? Here's how we do it. We have to empower our community to lead. See, politics has forced people to think that if that the person in position is in charge. See, that's what we have to get rid of in our county. See, in our community, the community is in charge. The community are the decision makers, not the politicians. I'm here to serve the community. And so that's why I'm out at the homeowners association, in the soccer fields, at the Little League parks, at the cricket games, at the soccer games, at the basketball games, at the after-school program. Because the goal is to get back out and tell the community you are in charge. What do you want? How do you feel? That's why my website is now getting ready to go up this week. Because I wasn't going to just put up a political website. I want to put up a website based on what the people are telling me that they want. This office that I will hold after the election of July the 31st will be about what the citizens have said that we want as a county, and not what I get in with a small circle of political propaganda, and we come together as a small circle and say, here's how we're going to do and how we're going to control. We have to break those bonds, those shackles in the political process, and get back out and give this county back to who deserves it. So go out and tell everybody, we're one. Let me hear y'all say it, we're one.
We're one.
How about Dekalb Deserves Better?
Dekalb Deserves Better.
I'll see you at the top. Thank you so much. Well then, let's go to the polls on July the 31st and do better.